The second quarter edition of the AGI Sector Survey focuses on the building, construction, metal and non-metal subsectors. This is one sector that holds the key to unlocking the full economic potential of the country.
Given the universal acknowledgement that basic human needs include food, clothing and shelter, the importance of the building and construction sector is not in doubt at all. Clearly, it is critical to the well-being of households and individuals. Apart from that, it is also important to realize that the quality of housing has implications for other aspects of livelihoods. For instance, the kind of housing that is available to an individual can affect that person's even perspective on life, and it has implications for health, schooling, security, and education. So that is also something to take note of. Then we also realize that this sector is directly linked to the provision of buildings for very important aspects of every country or nation building for that matter. When you talk about construction of schools, construction of hospitals, construction of roads, bridges, all these are directly linked to the activities of this sector. So that's another dimension of the importance of the sector. I think we can also say that the sector offers huge employment opportunities, right? Because of the interlinkages, forward and backward interlinkages that it has with other sectors of the economy. So all these show that the sector is really important.
It is for this reason that the Executive Director of AGI is so excited about this particular exercise, and justifiably so.
It is so important because this is one sector that is contributing 16% of manufacturing GDP, and therefore as a country, as we are growing, as we are having a growth rate of about 14%, we have no choice than to look at some strategic sectors that we should focus on, and this is one of such sectors. Indeed, a sector that creates so much employment. A lot of materials are sourced locally, and therefore the chain of activities has positive effect on the development of the economy. The critical objectives of coming up with this study is, one, to look at the opportunities in this sector, and also look at the challenges that is confronting companies operating in this sector, because we have still not reached the ultimate objective as far as the sector operation is concerned. We still have lots of imports coming into the country. We still have lots of the activities or even construction activities being given to foreigners. How many of it is coming to look, what's the percentage of local content? These are all critical issues that have to be looked at. And therefore, we think that much as there are opportunities, there are also a number of challenges. And that is what the study is trying to do. Now, out of this study, we'll come out with strategies and policy recommendations which, when effectively implemented, will help boost the operations of the sector and contribute a lot more significantly, create the needed employment and help our economy grow. Now, in doing this study, we have combined both primary data collection and secondary data collection. The primary data collection, we interviewed about 100 companies across the country, about 100 companies just operating in this sector, and we interviewed them in their factory premises. We took pictures, we took information, we took data, and looked at their whole and entire operations and gathered this information for our study. Then we also looked at the secondary data collection, and here we worked with the Statistical Service of Ghana and took historical perspective of things, look at projections and so many other data, did all this analysis and combined the two key key sources of information and came up with this study. And out of that, we've come out with very interesting revelations. And in the course of this documentary, you will watch and listen to some of our operators who are commenting on various issues which are all part of the revelations of the study. I think it's an interesting study and people should be interested in looking at it.
A representative group of companies in the sector is considered in this exercise, and the revelation is that Ghana has no business looking up to any country anywhere in the world for solutions to her housing needs. That GASEM has been in Ghana and competing favorably on the global market is something that cannot be taken for granted. Dr. George Dawson-Amwa is the Strategy and Corporate Affairs Director of GASEM and also the Vice Chairman of AGI, Large-Scale Companies.
We've been in the system since 1967 and producing consistent, quality cement for various construction works actually in Ghana. There are various works which, of course, they are there to attest to the quality of GASEM cement, talking about the motorway, talking about the Adome Bridge, talking about the rehabilitation of the airports, the construction of the various stadia, and currently even the construction of the Bui Dam, etc. There are a lot, which of course I cannot mention. But the long and short of the whole thing is that, GASEM has been in existence, to support the construction industries in Ghana. Consistently, we've been producing, like I said, quality cement. So far, we have 3 products, 2 and 50 kilogram bags, that's 50 kg bag, and 1, I would say, that is if you uncover the bags, you have the naked cement, which is actually transported in bulk tankers, especially bulk tankers. One we call the super rapid cement, and by Ghana standard we call it 32.5 R. And the quality, the basic characteristics of this cement is that it has a very short setting time. Now, 2 days, you're okay with whatever product that you have to do. 2 days. And you're talking about it will be very beneficial to people in the block making, in the casting, talking about pre-concrete, products, etc. And that is our major product, which is actually a product which is suitable so far as our certain environment is concerned.
Leroy Cables Limited is a private limited liability company operating in the heavy industrial area, Tema, Ghana. The company was incorporated in 1992 to, among other things, manufacture, process and distribute electrical cables and accessories. The company has significant domestic market presence. It has recently completed the construction of a new manufacturing plant, making it the largest electrical cables manufacturing plant in Ghana. The new factory is planned to serve the high value-added end of the industry, that is the utilities and developmental project sector, and generate new service contracts from government, utility companies and estate developers, as intimated by Kate Korte, the CEO of Leroy Cables and chairperson for the electricals and electronics sector of AGI.
Leroy started as a distributor and a wholesaler distributing the sub-regional market in terms of local and exports. Over the years, we've grown in such a way that we decided to add value to whatever we are exporting. And now we are into manufacturing in terms of adding value and going back onto the manufacturing industry, starting from the scratch of the cable industry by drawing up the wires and adding on to it more value in terms of raw materials. So we're starting now from scratch with the raw materials as well as the finished products to get the cables and the conductors. We quite recently invested in a new machine that is actually can give us all the ranges of the conductors, all the sizes, and in terms of delivery, very quick and fast. we always position ourselves where we'll have the prompt delivery. Before it comes out from outside, we've prepared ourselves, we've positioned ourselves where we will take on production, and with all the challenges that we are having, we're still moving on. Leroy, for sure, we don't compromise at all on quality. Quality comes first. From the scratch of our raw materials, making sure that we are using the right raw materials in terms of aluminum, copper, PVC, all the raw materials that we need to get ourselves positioned, to get ourselves the quality that the consumer needs. When we talk about customers, they always prefer the local manufacturing products, but then they always complain about prices. Looking at it in terms of prices, you cannot compromise quality. So obviously, with the costing, yes, the local manufacturer is a bit expensive, but it's worthwhile. Because in the building industry, it's something that you can afford it today, but what about tomorrow? So you don't have to compromise at all on quality. So we always assure our customers, as our suppliers, for us to get a good product, for us to also be able to give them the best and the quality wise. We don't compromise on quality.
This is the factory floor of another privately owned Ghanaian company, Asatec Industries Limited. Its chief executive officer is James Asari. He is also the chairperson of the Buildings, Construction and Metal sector of AGI, and very proud of what the company has been able to achieve over the years.
The company started as a small company with the manufacturing of cooking utensils, that is household utensils. Basically with about 2 or 3 employees. Now, over the years, the company grew as a result of hard work, commitment, dedication by the people who were behind the company. And then we got ourselves also into, or by extension, we went into roofing products. The company is more or less a one-stop shop for providing total roofing solution. Now, I must say that our products are of very high quality because we use time-tested technology in ensuring that we come out with a type of products that will satisfy the market, our target markets. Of course, we just have a range of products. We have what we call the standard sheets, galvanized sheets, alu-zinc standard sheets, aluminium mold finish standard sheets, and aluminium embossed standard sheets. We also have the long span. The long span, you can talk about alu-zinc pre-coated long span, aluminium pre-coated long span. We also have the products which are specifically made, for individual or customized roofing products. Now, it will interest you to know that we satisfy all segments of the market. Now, from the very low-cost market to the upper market, we have developed a very good niche, particularly in the estate development segment of the market. We also produce for individuals and also other institutional or government products. Basically, we are one of the best in the market, and we strive to be market leader in the next 3 years in the industry. Of course, you know that the roofing industry is highly competitive now with many small players, but of course there are other giants. However, we do well to ensure that we position ourselves in terms of quality, pricing, and general competitiveness to ensure that we always offer value for money.
Yaferiwa Royal Homes is one of AGI member companies who are indigenously owned by Ghanaians and doing as well as any other estate developer in any part of the world. Their designs are unique and are all characterized by the company's key architectural design component, as articulated by Cynthia Opuni, the Managing Director of Aferiwa Royal Homes.
We're a gated community in Community 22 Tema, and we have a variety of residential houses for our customers. We have a variety of 2-bedroom semi-detached houses, 3-bedroom semi-detached houses, and 4-bedroom detached houses with boys' quarters units if the customer wants. Our company was founded about 6 years ago by Nana Owusu Afari.
Even though we place premium on quality, our prices are very affordable as compared to other estates in and around the Tema municipality. An average income earner can afford our houses.
Established in 1995, CST currently manufactures and installs Ripper razor coil, steel fences, mobile barriers, welded razor mesh, chain link, and also the only company in Ghana which manufactures stainless steel wire fencing products. Quality assurance has become a key feature in the CST Limited brand. Performance of this aspect is monitored continuously. Results of these control measures reflect on its high level of customer satisfaction. CST Limited is ISO 9000-2000 version and is Ghana Standards Board certified. The company has grown from being a local company into an international market leader, supplying high-quality security product in the West African sub-region.
CST Limited, right, was formed in 1995. We started off as a trading company importing razor wire and installing same to the Ghanaian market. In 1999, we built the factory to start producing our own. So we started with razor wire and chain link in 2000. And by 2005, we had added a third product, which was welded mesh. Our vision for starting this company was to get Ghana out there, producing quality products and delivering on time to customers. We've done that, and we've used a couple of strategies to try to address forward march towards quality delivery. One of it has been customer service, where we've given a lot of service to customers, delivering on time, giving them good price, and not compromising on the quality of the product itself.
However, this subsector seems to share the same challenges as the food and beverages subsector in the form of unfair competition, high cost of utilities, low access to credit, high cost of input, weak local currency, and lack of government support.
The challenges the industries face are generic. It's cheap imports from the Asian countries. We have low or interrupted power supplies, high interest rates from banks, inaccessible funds from banks as well. So we have these challenges coming all the time, but I believe that industry will rise above that, and we have risen above that.
GASAM is located in Tema and Takoradi, virtually the same capacity. Takoradi 1.2 million tons per annum, Tema 1.2 million tons per annum. And with a manufacturing unit at a grinding unit at one of the key factors that is very essential so far as production is concerned is power. And the reliability and consistency of the supply of power is key so far as our operations is concerned. So just to put it this way, the dumso is certainly something which is not in our favor or interest. Power outages results in lower production, which also results in lower supply of cement, with its attendant shortage, and you know the consequence, price hikes in the retail market. So consistency and reliability of power is very crucial so far as operations concerned. It is a challenge. It is really a challenge. What follows this challenge is what we've been experiencing, and I keep on actually mentioning that, well, it's really not really come into the domain of the public yet, but it's really a worrying challenge, and that's congestion at the port. Last year alone, we are talking about Gesem Tema factory alone paying a demurrage of about $3 million, and that's additional production cost. So you recall that somewhere along the line, we had to increase price, and one of the reasons that we gave was due to the congestion at the port with attendant demurrage charges. So it is really a challenge.
The roofing industry, and by extension, the housing sector, is plagued by many challenges. Of course, we know that we have a huge housing deficit in this country, and because of that, any industry or any company that is related, or operates in that particular sector needs to really ensure that we offer the kind of value or service that will satisfy its clients. Now, the many challenges that we have would range from material procurement. At the moment, we have an issue of virtually importing all our raw material. We used to buy raw materials locally, but then as a result of difficulties in production capacity for some of the suppliers locally, now we are forced to import our raw materials. Of course, as we talk about imports, then definitely we're talking about availability of foreign exchange, especially the dollar. Now, with the current turbulence in the foreign exchange and the decline in the cedi value, it is very difficult for you to compete in that respect. And of course, we lose a lot of money when it comes to depreciation and then foreign exchange loss. We have another bigger challenge in terms of imports that come into this country, now which is very close to dumping. We have a lot of these Chinese companies bringing in various types of raw materials, and in some cases they are near inferior products.
We would like our policymakers to really support us when it comes to the substandards coming into the market. Of course, we cannot stop anybody in terms of the preference, but we, the local manufacturers, we think that we are always the best, of course. Which we, in a way, we are prepared. Whatever standards they want, then they should also come out to tell us that, well, we don't like your standards, but we will prefer these standards, so that we can tailor to suit them.
Some of the reasons why we probably are still facing the housing deficit in Ghana might be an issue of priorities being set right by our policymakers. And also the right attention has got to be given to the fact that the cost of financing for a lot of real estate developers and other businessmen in other sectors are a real challenge. I believe that if the policymakers were able to prioritize and identify this, then estate developers would come together and be able to access these funds and deliver the units to the clients. It's not because they don't want to build, it's because the cost of building has become a very, very major challenge. So we would appeal to the powers that be to relook at their priorities and make the efforts we need to make to be able to house our brothers and sisters across the nation. Land as a resource is not the problem, it's the cost of putting up the units.
The attitude of the Ghanaian consumer still features prominently among the challenges facing indigenous companies in Ghana. But the subsector operates are confident that they stand shoulder to shoulder with any of their kind across the globe and even do better in some areas. The appeal, therefore, is to the Ghanaian consumer to have faith in their own, for no one can be in a better position to develop Ghana than Ghanaians themselves.
When we look at it from a point of things from outside is better than local, it's all, most at times, it's all because of education. The people don't know precisely even what they are going to buy, what they want, and for that matter, even how to get what they want. So they think that anything from outside is better than what's is being produced here. But I want to assure you people that whatever we produce here, we make sure, because we don't have any place to go. It's our country. We make sure that we produce the best and quality and what we think that when we ourselves are using it will be better for all of us. So it's something that, because we are all in the part of development. So we would like a situation where whatever comes out, make sure that it's tested, make sure that it's coming out with the best quality, and all the quality that they can get from outside, we can produce the same quality, if not even better, here, locally.
The conclusions arrived at by this study include, but not limited to, the following: that the subsector contributed about 16.3% of the manufacturing sector's contribution to GDP in 2011. It attracted 30.5% of foreign direct investment registered by the manufacturing sector in 2011. It employs hundreds of thousands of people, both skilled and unskilled. It is dominated by SMEs, who employ between 1 and 29 people. Majority of firms surveyed has turnover of above 50,000 Ghana cedis. Most of the companies interviewed are 100% owned by Ghanaians, and that about 38% of key raw materials are obtained locally. A senior lecturer at the Economics Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Louis Boache-Yadom, who provided technical advice on the study, has this to say.
Well, I think it's important to look at it from various, dimensions. In the first place, there is the need for the sector itself to do a lot, right, to help it to better serve the needs of Ghanaians. And also there's the role of government. There's a role of government. Talking about the role of the sector itself, I think quite often you hear people expressing, dissatisfaction with maybe, local builders or local construction firms and all that. We hear, people saying that, well, maybe the quality of their work is not really very high and things like that. So clearly it's important for the sector to do what it can to enhance its reputation. But that is very much also linked to the kind of support that they will get from government, right? And that's where it's very important for the government to contribute its quota towards making the sector very successful.
Now to a question whether Ghanaians will ever be able to house themselves. All the stakeholders unanimously agree that given the right business environment and support, there is absolutely no reason why Ghana should be depending on companies from other countries to build houses for us.
Why not? I mean, what does it take to actually provide a housing? Cement, steel, aggregates, blocks, and these are locally what is provided in Ghana. So what it requires is the competence of the developers. The competence of the developers. By using the available, local materials which are there. And of course, also with the support of the government.
Ghanaians can produce houses to house our own Ghanaian people. We actually know the culture. We know what they like. We know what they will prefer. And building and housing our own people, I think it's something that it will make all of us sit up, because we can build ourselves and house our own people when it comes to that. And we'll make sure that we'll use the best quality materials that will last us for ages, that our great-great-grandchildren will come and meet. To say that this generation, of course, is something that we can leave a good legacy. So I think to build and to house our own people, yes, we can.